So remember, people don't just buy services, they buy solutions to their problems from people they trust. And by focusing on service first, you're building that trust from the very beginning. I'm Sylvia Garibaldi, founder and CEO of a well-established marketing training and done-for-you services company, tailored specifically for the modern legal and financial professional worldwide. While it's taken some trial and error to figure out which methods get the best results for professionals who are looking to grow their practices, fast forward to today, my team and I have nailed down and perfected a process that has helped so many of our clients consistently achieve outstanding results and create a legacy for their practices. I created the Serve First, Sell Later marketing podcast to give you simple, actionable, non-salesy, and results-driven marketing to grow your legal or financial practice like so many of our clients have. If you're a lawyer, mediator, financial, or divorce professional who is looking to become highly visible and wants to create a practice that makes an impact, then you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 62 of the Serve First, Sell Later marketing podcast. I'm your host, Sylvia Garibaldi, and today I'm going to be diving into a topic that I know many of you can probably relate to, and that's why does selling feel so hard? So let's be honest, marketing and selling your services can feel uncomfortable for most of us, even perhaps overwhelming at times. And so you might worry about coming across as too pushy, or maybe you fear that promoting yourself could feel unprofessional. And I think most of us didn't go into our professions because we wanted to be salespeople, right? But here's the thing, marketing doesn't have to feel that way. In fact, when you shift your mindset from selling to serving, everything changes. And I think by focusing in on how you can genuinely help people rather than just trying to close the deal, you'll not only build trust faster, but you'll also naturally attract the right clients for your practice. And who doesn't want that? So, in today's episode, I'm going to explore why selling can feel so hard and how adopting a service first mindset can make marketing feel more natural and more enjoyable. So, I'm going to be sharing some practical tips to help you get started with this approach right away. So, whether you are just starting out or perhaps you're looking to grow your practice, I promise that this episode will give you some valuable insights so that you can put it into action immediately. So let's get started. All right, so I want to dive into the heart of the matter. So, why selling professional services can feel so challenging, especially for lawyers, mediators, and divorce professionals. So, first, I want to talk about the mental blocks that many of us face. And it's common to feel uncomfortable with self promotion because that's really what it is. So you might think, I didn't go to law school to become a salesperson. Or maybe you worry that talking about your services makes you look desperate for clients, right? So there's also a fear of crossing ethical lines. After all, I mean, your professions have strict rules about how you can market yourself. But here's the thing, these concerns, while they are valid, can hold you back from connecting with the people who need your help. Now, let's look at some common pitfalls in some of the traditional marketing approaches. So, what we've seen is that many professionals fall into the trap of overemphasizing their credentials and experience. And so they'll list every degree, every certification, every award that they've ever received. And I do believe that these are important and they have a place, but they're not always the whole story. So we need to be careful about that one. Another mistake is focusing in solely on logical benefits. You might talk about how cost effective or efficient your services are. But here's the catch. While these factors do matter, they're not usually the ones that drive someone to pick up the phone and call you. And what's often overlooked is really the emotional needs of your clients. So think about when someone's going through a divorce or maybe facing a big legal issue, They're not just looking for a service, they're looking for support. They're looking for understanding and they're looking for reassurance. Someone who can do all of those things while providing a solution that's going to work for them. That's what they're looking for. So people make decisions based on emotions and then they justify it with logic. Now, I'm sure this doesn't surprise you. You've probably heard that before. So if your marketing only speaks to the logical part of their brain, you're missing a crucial connection. So remember, your potential clients are often going through some sort of stressful time in their life or in their business. And they're not just looking for a professional, they're looking for a guide, someone who can navigate through these uncertain waters. And I think by understanding these challenges and common pitfalls, what you're doing is you're actually starting to shift your approach. So, another key element here is the power of a service first mindset and how it can transform the way that you actually approach marketing, selling, and client relationships. So, what exactly is a service first approach? So, to simply define it, it's about putting your client's needs front and center rather than focusing in on making an immediate sale. Okay. So, it means providing value first and providing that support before you even think about asking for their business. Now, this is completely different from those who come to seek your support, right? So, for example, if somebody calls you and says, "Hey, this is my situation, I need some help," that's different. I mean, you're going to dive into how you can help them. But when you are doing proactive marketing, it's always about demonstrating value and your expertise so that they can see what it would feel like to work with you. That's what I call proactive marketing. Reactive is when someone picks up the phone or somebody sends you a referral and this person reaches out saying, "Hey, I need your help. This is what's happening." So that's a little different from what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking more about the proactive marketing. So imagine that you're at a networking event and instead of handing out business cards and talking about how great you are, you listen to people's problems and you offer genuine advice or resources. That's what I would call service first thinking. Okay, that's service first thinking in action. Really, that's what it is. And this approach has some amazing benefits. Let me share these with you. First, what it does is it builds trust and credibility like nothing else. Okay. And when you freely share your expertise and show that you genuinely care about helping people or businesses, these potential clients, they start to see you as a trusted advisor rather than just another service provider. Second, it aligns perfectly with your professional ethics, right? As lawyers, mediators, and divorce professionals, you do have a duty to put your clients' interests first. So, a service first marketing approach lets us do exactly that, even before someone becomes a client. So, once again, this is what I call proactive marketing. When you're doing your proactive marketing, you want it to be a service first marketing approach. Okay. I hope this is making sense. And then you want to look at taking the pressure off both you and your potential clients. And this is super important. You're not trying to close a deal because nobody wants to be sold to. Instead, you have to have authentic conversations about how you might be able to help them without the pressure to the prospect or to you about how do we close this deal right now and get you to become a client. That should never, ever be the focus. It's about how can I help you? What are you struggling with? And then demonstrating how you can help. And then giving them the tools and giving them a sense of trust in your service so that it will lead to a sale. Okay. But the pressure should not be to actually close the sale immediately, if that makes sense. And there are some people that want to close the sale immediately. And if that's the case and you feel that they're a good fit, then I totally agree. They just become a client. But when we are taking a service first marketing approach, it's always about educating first. So let me share an example. Let's say you are a divorce mediator. Instead of advertising your services directly, right? Saying, if you're going through a divorce, here's how I can help, reach out. So that's great. That's one way to do it. But how effective would that be? And I challenge that. And I would say that this approach that I'm going to share with you right now will actually probably build the know, like, and trust factor versus the other direct advertising. So you could create a guide on 10 things to consider before filing for divorce. So what we're doing here is we're giving them a free guide and you're not asking for anything in return, right? You're just providing valuable information that people need. Or if you're a family lawyer, you could start a blog series addressing common questions about co-parenting arrangements. And here's what happens. In every post, you share practical advice and insights, helping parents understand their options and their rights without any pressure to hire you. Okay? So remember the last time you made a purchase and you were in a conversation with a salesperson. Did you ever buy when that salesperson put pressure on you? Or were you more inclined to buy from someone who didn't put any pressure on you and just shared how the service or the product could help you and then left you to make the decision, right? So you probably would agree with me that it's the approach that has no pressure where you actually decided to say yes to that service or that product. Okay. So here's the thing. Some of the people who read that guide or that blog of those examples I just gave you, they may never need your services. And that's okay. You need to accept that. But for those who do, you have already positioned yourself as a helpful, knowledgeable professional that they can trust. Okay. So remember, people don't just buy services, they buy solutions to their problems from people they trust. And by focusing on service first, you're building that trust from the very beginning. Okay, if you're finding this episode valuable, I've covered related topics in past episodes of this podcast that I think can really deepen your understanding. So, if you want to learn more about some of these topics and co-related topics, be sure to check out those episodes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some links in the show notes so that you can easily find these specific episodes that can help you deepen your understanding about this topic. All right, so let's dive into some practical strategies that you can use to put this service first mindset into action in your marketing efforts. Okay, so first up, let's talk about content marketing. And this is all about creating helpful resources that your potential clients will find valuable. So you could start with a blog where you address common questions and concerns that your clients have. So, another quick example, if you're a divorce mediator, you might write about what to expect during your first mediation session or how to talk to your kids about divorce. And you don't have to limit yourself to writing, okay? You could create videos explaining some of these processes in plain language. There's so many different ways that you can do this. You can actually be a guest on a podcast and specifically share some of this advice so that you're seen as an expert in that area. And so it's really important that you think about how to showcase your expertise without any hard selling, okay? I want you to remember you're here to help, not to pitch. Another great idea is creating downloadable guides or checklists. For example, if you're a workplace mediator, you could create a free checklist called Steps to Take When Employees Don't Get Along. Okay. So sharing the different mediation approaches and how it can help businesses. So these resources not only provide value, but they also help keep you top of mind when they need your support. Okay, so let's talk about relationship building. And this is a really critical one in professional services. So you need to start by networking with complementary professionals, or in other words, referral partners. So if you're a mediator, for instance, you might connect with therapists or financial advisors who often work with divorcing couples. If you're a family lawyer, you might build relationships with real estate agents who assist families in selling their homes during divorce. If you are a workplace mediator, you may be building relationships with HR executives. So just think about who these referral partners are. And please don't be shy about asking for recommendations and referrals from either satisfied referral partners or clients. right? So I think people forget that referral partners can also provide testimonials when they see your work in action. So, word of mouth is still one of the most powerful marketing tools we have. And I think it's important that we take advantage of those. And finally, I want to talk about optimizing your digital presence because we all know that it's absolutely critical to have an online presence. And we need to ensure that that online presence has a client centric approach, right? So this means focusing on what your clients need to know, not just listing your credentials. So, for example, if you're looking at your website, you may include FAQs that address common concerns like how long does mediation take or what documents do I need for my initial consultation. So please make sure that your professional profiles on platforms such as LinkedIn and other social media platforms are up to date and really demonstrate your expertise. So you take a look at your website, take a look at your social media, and of course, add case studies or share testimonials from happy clients or referral partners. And of course, using social media to share valuable insights are super important and focus on those channels where you know that your ideal target market hangs out. And if you've never done live video, think about hosting a live Q&A on Facebook or Instagram where potential clients can ask general questions about a process. And this not only demonstrates your knowledge, but of course, it shows that you're approachable and you're willing to help. So I think it's important to remember the goal with all of these strategies is to provide value first. And I think when you consistently show up as a helpful, knowledgeable professional, clients will naturally be drawn to you when they need your services. Okay, I want to talk about something that many of us struggle with, and that is overcoming our resistance to marketing. I know it can feel uncomfortable, but there are different approaches that you can take that will align with your values and your professional ethics because we help our clients do this all the time. So, first, you need to reframe how you think about marketing. Instead of seeing it as selling, I want you to think of it as education first. So, your goal is to help potential clients make informed decisions. And you're not pushing your services, you're sharing your knowledge to guide people through complex situations. So, once again, this is your proactive marketing approach that I'm referring to. Quick example, if you're a divorce mediator, you could create a series of short videos explaining different aspects of the mediation process. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, while mediation has been around for a while, there are still a lot of people and businesses out there that have no clue what mediation does, how it works, and the advantages of it. And I think that's probably one of the big things I see in the marketplace is that a lot of professionals assume that people know what mediation is or any other legal concept. So even though, as I said, mediation has been around for a while, we have discovered that there's still a lot of people and businesses out there that need to become aware and need to become educated about the mediation process. So, what this does when you do this is it positions you as a trusted advisor rather than a salesperson. And you're giving people the information they need, whether they end up using your services or not. Okay. And that's the reality that you need to come to accept that not everybody who comes across your online profile or reads about you or learns from you is going to actually buy from you. But you need to think about that those that actually do need your services, and when they see and hear from you, it can be incredibly impactful for them to decide which service provider to go with. And it's usually the one that they see and hear from the most and the one who educates them. Okay, let's address a crucial aspect of your work, and that is the emotional side. So, any kind of legal issues, especially involving family matters, are often highly emotional. And so, it's important to acknowledge this in your marketing efforts. Show that you understand the stress and uncertainty that your potential clients might be feeling. Take workplace mediation, for example. that's still highly emotional, but it's in a workplace environment, right? So that still requires sensitivity in how you market and in the messaging and positioning that you use. So you could also, think about what are some client stories that I can demonstrate that show how you've helped people during these difficult times, or write social media posts that address not just the legal aspects of a case, but also the emotional part that people or businesses might be facing in these circumstances. And why I suggest this is because it demonstrates empathy and understanding, which can help potential clients feel more comfortable reaching out to you and actually saying yes to your services. So, lastly, I want to talk quickly about ethical considerations with respect to how you market your services. And one key aspect is maintaining client confidentiality, as you know. And so, while sharing success stories can be powerful, you always need to ensure that you have permission and you avoid sharing any identifying details. So, really important to think about that. Another ethical consideration is avoiding any guarantees or promises in your marketing. So, instead, you want to focus on the experience, the approach, and the commitment to your clients. And ethical marketing isn't just about following rules, it's really about building trust. So, I think when potential clients see that you prioritize ethics and integrity, they're more likely to feel confident in choosing you as the service provider. So it's going to be really important to reframe your marketing as education. Okay, so think about how can you reframe your marketing and see it more as education. Think about addressing emotional concerns and, of course, always maintaining those high ethical standards. And I think if you can focus on those three things, I think it can really help you overcome your resistance to marketing and really attract clients in a way that feels authentic and aligned with your values. So, selling doesn't have to always feel hard or uncomfortable. I hope that's a message that I'm getting across in this episode. And when you shift from a sales first mindset to a service first approach, everything changes. So you're no longer just promoting yourself, you're genuinely helping people. And that's what builds trust, that's what builds credibility, and really a steady stream of the right clients. Okay, so I want to go over a quick, simple, step by step action plan to help you implement what we've talked about today. And step one is reframe your mindset. So instead of thinking about marketing as selling, as I've mentioned, I want you to think about it as educating and serving first. Your goal is to help people make informed decisions about their needs and how you can help them solve their problems. Step two is creating value driven content. Okay, so start sharing useful information without expecting anything in return. That's probably a tough one, but I think it's one that you should get very accustomed to because it becomes super important in building the know, like, and trust factor very quickly. Okay, so let me give you a couple of examples. You can do this by adding blog posts that answer common client questions, maybe short videos breaking down your process, downloadable guides or checklists that help clients understand their options, and then, of course, social media posts that provide quick tips and insights. Okay. Step three, focus on relationship building. So, what I want you to get from this is that building trust takes time. It does not happen overnight. So, I want you to start nurturing your network today, or actually, yesterday would have been better. So, what I want you to do is connect with complementary professionals. Maybe in your industry, it's HR executives, maybe it's therapists or other attorneys, financial professionals. So, think about who your referral partners are and connect with them. Attend networking events and make it a goal to really provide helpful advice for maybe just one or two connections that you make at this networking event. So pick two people when you go to the next networking event and ask yourself, how can I provide value to this person that is in front of me right now? And give them that helpful advice that you would give to anyone that was struggling with a certain pain point or problem. So I want you to do that rather than just handing out a business card. And then follow up with past clients and ask for referrals. Don't forget to ask for referrals from your referral partners as well. Step 4 is to optimize your digital presence. So make sure people can find you and they see the value that you offer. So, how do you do that? You update your website with FAQs and clear, client friendly language. Keep your LinkedIn profile updated and active. Share insights regularly on social media to stay top of mind. Super, super important. Step 5 is overcoming your resistance to marketing. So, if marketing feels uncomfortable, remind yourself that you're not selling, you're providing guidance and solutions. Clients really need to feel emotionally understood. They don't just need to see your credentials, though that's important, but that's not one of the key things that they need to see. Ethical marketing builds trust and really ensures that potential clients feel safe reaching out to you. So be mindful of that as well. And step number 6 is stay consistent. Okay. The key to long term success is really consistency. And you don't have to do everything at once, but start small and keep going. Pick 1 or 2 strategies from today's episode and just commit to them for the next month. Because marketing doesn't have to be overwhelming or pushy. When you lead with service first, clients will naturally gravitate towards you. Trust me on this one. This is a big one. And if you leave with just that one thought and you think, okay, wow, this is a powerful one, and I'm going to be mindful of it each day and take action to support your service first approach, you will see much success in your business and much faster than you thought you could. Okay. So here's a golden nugget for you. The more you show up, educate, and provide value, the more you'll build a thriving practice that feels aligned with your values and your expertise. Thank you for tuning in today. If you found this episode valuable, I'd love to hear from you. Please send me a message or share your biggest takeaway. And if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes that are always packed with actionable strategies to grow your practice. See you in the next episode.